चल रहा है क्या? हाँ अभी चालू हुआ है।
Dear delegates, very good morning to you all. We'll be going to start the workshop in a couple of minutes. Kindly be spare with us. Thank you.
I'm glad to associate with this today international workshop with
Yeah, Dr. Sucharita, it is audible?
Yes, sir, it is audible, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, Professor Apparao, sir, have joined for the program, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, Professor Apparao, sir. Yeah, this is Dr. Niranjan Babu, Principal, sir.
Sir is not connected to audio, sir.
Okay.
Sir
Yeah.
joined, but not connected to audio.
Yeah.
ఇంకా లేట్ అవుతుందా?
Sir,
సార్ జాయిన్ అవ్వలేదా ఇంకా?
late, sir. Waiting for Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir.
ఓకే.
Professor Apparao, sir, welcome you, sir. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning, sir. Apparao, sir. Sir, you are not audible, sir. Your mic is muted.
Yeah. Good morning. Very good morning.
Yeah, good
morning,
morning, sir. This is Dr. Niranjan Babu, Principal, sir, and Seven Hills College of Pharmacy. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining, sir. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
इसको फॉर्म बसना चाहिए ना उसी से ना
Dear delegates, we will start our program in a few more minutes. Sorry for the inconvenience and kindly cooperate with us. Thank you. We are waiting for the Honorable Chief Guest, sir. Please be patient and be with us. Thank you so much.
మనకేం బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ పైన వాళ్ళకి
Sir, can we start the program? Can you please ensure me that all the guests are joined, sir?
Yes, Amma, this is Professor Ramakrishna Reddy. I'm joined. I'm there in the meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. This is Dr.
Morning.
Niranjan Babu, principal, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, Hussain sir have joined, sir.
Good morning, sir. Apparao, sir.
Sir,
Sir, can you-
Professor Apparao, sir. Yeah, now you are in mute. Okay, sir.
Good morning, sir. Professor Ramakrishna Reddy garu.
Sir, good morning, sir. Apparao, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, can you please ensure Professor Muhammad Hussain sir, the registrar of
Meeting
SVU
lo
have
ఉన్నాను నరసింహ.
Unnara sir, sir. The registrar sir is there on the meeting, sir.
Success.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Sucharita.
Sir, the registrar sir and honorable vice chancellor sir have joined, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, good morning, sir. Yeah, good morning.
Audio is not connected, sir. Just a minute,
Okay.
sir.
You please wait one more minute.
Yes, sir. Sir, you are in mute, sir. Uh,
Sir, good morning, sir. Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, VCs are in mute, sir. Sir, can you please unmute, sir?
Sir, good
welcome
morning,
you.
sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. This is
Able to
Dr.
hear
Niranjan
me?
Babu.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, it is audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Okay.
Very good morning, sir.
Good
I'm
morning.
Dr. Sucharita. Welcome you, sir.
I feel immensely happy to associate myself with the inaugural program of the one-day international workshop on recent advances and developments in transdisciplinary research, jointly organized by SV University and Seven Hills College of Pharmacy. Today, we stand at the threshold of a remarkable event, the International Workshop on Recent Advances and Developments in Transdisciplinary Research. It is a privilege to address such an exceptional gathering of minds united in the pursuit of innovation and progress. The essence of this work lies in its name, transdisciplinary research. It beckons us to break free from the shackles of conventional thinking, to challenge the boundaries that confine us, and to embark on a journey that transcends disciplines, cultures, and perspectives. Transdisciplinary is the convergence of brilliance, the confluence of diverse ideas, and the fusion of expertise in the various fields. It's a symphony where the notes of virology and pharmaceutical research harmonizing blend to create a masterpiece of art. Egypt is besetting challenges from microscopic pathogens that stretch our lives to larger global crises and to solutions. The need for unity in knowledge are But let us not really dwell in the realm of theory. Let our discussions and deliberations find their meaningful application in the real world. Let us dare to dream beyond the confines of the ivory tower, seeking solutions that address the pressing challenges. And each one of you, the scholars and researchers, carries a task of wisdom. Let that task remain hidden in the recesses of academia, but illuminate the path towards the better tomorrow. Let us strive for research that leaves a lasting impact on the lives of people, that improve communities, and that transform society. The journey of transdisciplinary research is not an easy one. It demands courage, perseverance, and the audacity to think differently. Let us make this workshop a catalyst for change, a better application, and a testament to the right of human nature. Together, let us create views of change that people are
పోయిందా ఏమి దీంట్లో మాట్లాడుతున్నా
Sir, thank you so much, the Honorable Chief Guest and the patron of this today's program, Professor K. Rajareddy, sir, Vice Chancellor of Sri Venkateswara University, for addressing this today's session. And thank you so much for connecting with us. And we, the team of Sri Venkateswara University and the Sun Hills College of Pharmacy, extend a cordial and warm welcome to all the respected delegates and the today's guest of honors and the chief patrons of this today's program. And now I request the registrar of this today's program, Mohammad Hussain sir, to kindly share a few words and address our gathering, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Sir.
Hope you are all hearing.
Sir.
Hello.
Sir, please, sir.
Somebody respond back. Hello. Hello.
Sir, you're audible, sir.
Okay. Okay. Respected President of the today's two-day international workshop on recent advances and developments in transdisciplinary research, and the eminent scientists, participants, good morning to all. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to associate with this conference. We all know in recent times, nanotechnology is rapidly growing science of producing and utilizing nano-level particles that measures in nanometer. In other words, nanotechnology is the art of characterizing, manipulating, and organizing matter systematically at the nanoscale, which has created a revolutionary in science, engineering, technology, drug delivery, and therapeutics. The size of typical accessible structures is in the sub-micrometer range, being within the limit of optical resolution and barely visible with a light microscope. This scale is about 1 by 1,000 smaller and barely visible the structures. That could be resolved by but still 1,000 times larger than recently. We all know that we are addressing the size range below these dimensions and become a typical structure for ions, and which is
Excuse me, sir. Sorry for the interruption. You are muted, sir. Kindly unmute. Sir, you are muted, sir. Kindly unmute, sir.
running now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir.
Please. Sir, you can continue. Thank you, sir. Sir, you are not audible, sir.
Hello? Hello? I have unmuted.
Now it is okay, sir. Clarity is not there. You can go ahead. Sir. Again, unmuted, sir.
So maybe because nanotechnology is not related to one particular subject, it is the other subject. It is with disciplines. Pharmaceutical nanotechnology. Normally, drugs work through the entire body before they reach the disease affected areas. Using nanotechnology can be targeted to a precise location, which would make the drug much more effective and reduce the changes of possibilities of having side effects. Pharmaceutical nanotechnology provides a unique approach and comprehensive technology against cancer.
Excuse me, sir. I think you are in unmute, sir.
Sir, Niranjan sir, there is a technical issue, it seems, and the audio is not there. Sir is also disconnected, sir. Can we go further to the next pattern of the program, sir? With your permission?
Yeah.
Or can
Okay,
we wait?
madam.
Yeah. We sincerely thank the patron of this today's program, the registrar of the Sri Venkateswara University, Muhammad Hussain sir, for addressing the gathering on this international workshop, And now I request the principal of
Hello,
Sri
madam.
Venkatesh. Sir.
And then can be utilized in medicine. And we all know that working on metal nanoparticles like silver, gold, and other metals, which are being used in multi applications. Metal nanoparticles, silver and gold, which are being utilized. And lastly, the fullerenes, we all know the halospheres, buckyballs, which are being used in sensors and curing diseases, targeting to a specified area, in a localized area, where the disease is. So, such various types of pharmaceutical nanosystems are available in medicine for advanced curing and also the systems for the diagnosis. So we can diagnose at very, very minute level where the exact problem is possible with this pharmaceutical nanosystems. So I hope this is a very good opportunity for all the participants to participate in this two-day international workshop on recent advances and developments in transdisciplinary research, where this transdisciplinary refers to the genuine integration of disciplines at the level of understanding the concepts, assumptions, theories, methods, and interpretation, and which encourages theoretical concepts and also methodologies and techniques to be developed for advanced diagnosis systems. So we all know that it is a viable strategy for finding permanent solutions to numerous socio-ecological issues of today's globe in transdisciplinary research, in particular for further movement or for further pursuing advanced research in nanotechnology in a transdisciplinary research way. That means integrating from one discipline to the other discipline and obtaining solutions to resolve the problems of medicine and technology. So I wish the conference will be a successful one. For the next coming years, I wish all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. And gratitude is ours for connecting in this platform and blessing us for all the delegates in this international workshop. Thank you so much for addressing. And moving ahead, I now request the principal of Sri Venkateshwara University College of Sciences, Professor K.T. Ramakrishna Reddy, sir, to kindly address the gathering, sir. Sir, thank you so much for connecting with us and
Thank
kindly
you,
address
Dr.
the gathering.
Sucharita.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Raja Reddy sir, respected Registrar Professor Muhammad Hussain Garu, Professor Apparao Garu, Dean CDC, Professor Vijay Bhaskar Rao, Dean R&D, Dr. Niranjan Babu, Principal, Seven Hills College of Pharmacy, other invitees, faculty members of different disciplines, the delegates of the workshop, scholars, students, print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all. I'm very glad to associate with this two-day international workshop on recent advances and developments in transdisciplinary research. Now, with the growing pressure on higher education to pursue impactful and socially relevant research, it may seem as if transdisciplinary research is in competition with the traditional disciplinary research. Hence, funding of research has increasingly prioritized. However, transdisciplinary research doesn't have to be a threat to scientific core values. There is an opportunity for it to act as a buffer zone, which protects the core values of different disciplines while also addressing societal demands at the same time. In our understanding, transdisciplinary research builds on a set of reliable disciplinary knowledge and helps to mediate between various traditional disciplines and societal demands, expanding the scope of higher education. In the context of sustainability and problem solving, transdisciplinary research is particularly relevant. Transdisciplinary research means engaging stakeholders in particular in significant ways throughout the research process rather than collecting data and informing stakeholders afterwards. Societal impact is the end goal of transdisciplinary research to contribute to the development of society and to challenges faced by the society. There are many initiatives taken by the Government of India in the NEP 2020 in this direction, and the Government of Andhra Pradesh is very keen in encouraging transdisciplinary research to address the societal needs. Renewable energies, particularly the solar and wind energy technologies, are two such areas where a lot of efforts have been made in recent years with the wide publicity and encouragement given by the state and union governments. Also, as Professor Muhammad Hussain put it, nanotechnology is another area which involves various disciplines of science, engineering, pharmacy, medicine, veterinary, agriculture, arts, commerce, and other areas. So this two-day international workshop is going to enlighten the different areas where transdisciplinary research can be undertaken. And I wish that it's going to be highly successful. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so very much for addressing the gathering in line to the objectives of this today's workshop, sir. Thank you so much for connecting.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, sir. And now I now request the Dean R&D of Sri Venkateshwara University, Professor S. Vijay Bhaskara Rao, sir, to address the gathering, sir. Sir, welcome you and thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Hope
sir.
I am audible to all of the people.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Very good morning and welcome to all the dignitaries, invitees, and delegates for this workshop on recent trends, advances, developments in transdisciplinary research. Respected Vice Chancellor and our Registrar and Principal of the Science College, they've already spoken about what is this transdisciplinary research. So I need not repeat them again, because today the era is for a sort of a collaborative research. We have been working isolated for several years. Now the trend has changed. Now we should come together. All the researchers in one particular area have to come together and form a group, and then you have to do a research, taking into consideration of a societal problems. A problem which cannot be solved by a single individual, we can solve through a group of people. That is ultimately the essence of transdisciplinary research. You have a brilliant thought, but one cannot do justice for all the problems. But a couple of people can sit together and they can do wonderful things. So the NEP is also talking about this multidisciplinary research. There are multidisciplinary research institutes also coming out. This Meru program is also coming out in a big way now. So the future is only for multidisciplinary research. There is no doubt about it. Whether it is a science, mathematics, or it is engineering, or whatever you are talking about, arts or humanities, whatever it is, we should all focus on transdisciplinary research. When we talk about this, there is a cluster format is also coming out now. Group of institutions. Not only the interdisciplinary research is not only confined to within the university or institute, but it should also be percolated to different institutes coming together. That is the cluster concept what the state of Andhra Pradesh also brought, and UGC also looking at actually. Several institutes come together for a common problem. Like in Tirupati cluster, we have 14 institutions. We formed a cluster. Now we are going to work on 3 different areas of research like food security and precision agriculture, biodiversity of Tirupati Tirumala regions, and then you have a solid waste and circular economy. So all these things you cannot do independently, because you need a group of people working together, and so that we can do a comprehensively understanding the problem, and deliverables will come through this multidisciplinary research. Now coming to this particular conference, what you are talking about pharma, and I should congratulate Seven Hills College of Pharmacy and the principal, Professor Niranjan Babu Garu, for coming together with SV University for jointly organizing this 2-day international workshop. And hope there are several international delegates also available now. Maybe they may join late also, I don't know, from the Urban University, South Africa, other people. When you come to about the pharma, you're talking about pharmaceutical thing, there are a lot of developments are going out now. Many people are talking about these pharmaceutical companies are coming out with technologies like the advances. Biologics is one of the area now people are talking about, where drugs delivered from living organisms. That one area has gained a prominence. I understand some billions of dollars work has been there, and I'll come to that statistics afterwards. And there is a precision medicine is also going on, involving tailoring medical treatments to individual patients. So that is a precision medicine. Immunotherapy is already there. And now you should also think that how best we can utilize the artificial intelligence and big data into the medical sciences. We need not confine only to science. Now there is a point where we're talking about transdisciplinary research. Why don't you include in engineering thing also into our science? Because the artificial intelligence and the big data is coming in a big way. So how best we can understand the drug delivery system, streamlining drug delivery process, interaction of drug with the processes, all those things can be modeled using artificial intelligence today. So we have to talk about this artificial intelligence, big data into the system. Then one should focus on rare diseases, orphan drugs. These are also area where one has to work on developing a drugs that affect smaller patient population, because we don't need not worry about only COVID type of a pandemic, but we should also look into a smaller portion of the world where they are suffering with a particular disease, rare diseases. So we should also focus on rare diseases and orphan drugs. And digital health, telemedicine is coming in a big way. ISRO is launching number of satellites. Now people are going for this digital health. So you are soon, I understand all the your medical things will be scanned. It will be available in the cloud if government permits. And of course, there are some ethical issues also there. Okay, some confidentiality and some ethical issues. Once that is completed, then all your medical things, so your certificates, clinical reports will be on the cloud, and then is a telemedicine possibility. We have been talking about telemedicine for the last 15 years when I know that, but still we have not gained much research into telemedicine and other things. So this all has to be practiced. This all has to come to the reality. Then there your transdisciplinary research will come into picture. Now global health initiatives are coming in big way. And as I said, the R&D, the research and the development on the pharma is very, very, what you call it, quantum steps it is going out. Into 2020, a global pharmaceutical R&D spending was estimated to be around $186 billion. I understand in 2020, 29 of the top 100 best-selling drugs globally were biologics only. So that 29 drugs were identified in that. And then there is a global personalized medicine market projected to reach about $3 trillion economy by 2029. So there is a lot of opportunity for these things. Clinical trials also, if you can see, there's about 364,000 clinical trials have been registered. People have done that. So a lot of data is available for research. You can do that. And then drug approval, if you can see that in year 2020, the FDA has approved 53 new drugs in one single year. That is a remarkable achievement, I can say. In a single year, approving 53 new drugs is not a small achievement. It is a big achievement. Okay. So I understand that about the projection will be about $31 billion by 2025 and $3 trillion by 2029. So there is a lot of push in pharmaceutical research. And I'm happy that Professor Apparao sir is here. He's the principal of the pharmacy college. And SV University is doing good research in the biological sciences, especially in life sciences. We have a good number of publications, about 9,000 publications in Scopus and 6,000 publications in Web of Science. We have overall a 2 lakh of citations. Our citations per paper is very high compared to any international institute. And this university has got about 128 crores of research funding for the last 10 years. And we have a special funding of RUSA of 100 crores. And we have centers of excellence, like we have a DST per center where we have a dedicated instrumentation facility. And we have also bioinformatics infrastructure facility. And there are dedicated research labs in biological sciences, life sciences. So these are some of the things. And what I suggest is this conference deliberations is okay, but should come out with few recommendations on how you are going to have a future research. And we also need have a collaborative research with the SV University and your Seven Hills College of Pharmacy. Sorry. And so I wish this conference a great success. I think the organizers will bring a paper after this conference. So how to go about in future, and a series of lectures or conferences also required. We can organize series of things. Don't stop at this point, one conference. Continue it. Maybe in 6 months, in every 6 months, you try to have a meeting together and see what is the progress we made. And I wish the university and Seven Hills College gets good ranking in the NSF
చంద్ర ఎక్కడున్నామ్మా
and also in the
నీకు
global
ఇప్పుడు
rankings. So I wish the organizers a grand success, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. And you have beautifully addressed the all recent areas of developments, and so proud that we have been associated with Sri Venkateswara University, and very happy to listen all those accomplishments of Sri Venkateswara University, sir. And as you said, definitely this is an initiative, and we will never end up with this simple international workshops, sir. We'll have a much more collaborations with you, with all your support and God's blessings, sir. Thank you so much for addressing with us.
Thank you. Very
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Moving ahead, now I request the principal of Sri Venkateswara University College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Sri Venkateswara University, Professor C.H. Apparao, sir, to kindly address the gathering, sir. Sir, I welcome you, and thank you so much for connecting with us. It's over to you, sir.
Thank you for your invitation. So good morning, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Raja Reddy Garu, Sri Venkateswara, Vice Chancellor of Sri Venkateswara University, respected Registrar, Professor Mohammed Hussain Garu, respected Principal of College of Science, Sri Venkateswara University, Professor A.T. Ramakrishna Reddy Garu, respected Dean R&D, Professor Vijay Bhaskara Garu, and respected Principal of Seven Hills College of Pharmacy, Niranjan Babu Garu, and Dr. Sucharita, invitees, delegates, students, faculty, and print and electronic media who are attending this workshop. A very good morning. At the outset, I congratulate the Seven Hills College of Pharmacy coming forward to organize this two-day international workshop on recent advances and developments in transdisciplinary research with our university. Congratulate the organizers, in particular Dr. Narsimha and others, Dr. Niranjan Babu garu and all. So the earlier speakers have spoken about the importance of the transdisciplinary research and the involvement of the different disciplines, all meant for improving the standards of the life of humans and others on the planet of the Earth. So already we are short of time. I think I can straight away go to my talk of today. If you permit me, because we are already running short of time. So, can I start my talk, sir?
Good. I'm a concerned man.
Pharmaceutical science.
Yeah, straight away I will go to my talk. Today's talk of mine is. Yeah,
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
please.
Sir, can you give us a few more minutes of time, sir? We'll officially propose a vote of thanks for the inaugural. Then we'll go for a session, sir.
Okay.
Please, sir,
Okay,
2
right.
minutes. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the key address. And I now request Professor Suresh Babu, sir, the research fellow of Durban University of Technology, South Africa. And sir, I welcome you and I request you to kindly propose a keynote address on this international conference, sir. Professor Suresh, sir.
But is he proposing vote of thanks or is
No,
giving
sir,
the
no, sir. Keynote address, sir.
no, Apparao sir is waiting, no, in the talk.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
You conclude
Just
it with the vote of thanks.
Okay, sir.
Then you can have that two invited talks.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And I now request the principal of Seven Hills College of Pharmacy Autonomous Tirupati, Dr. M. Niranjan Babu, sir, to propose oath of thanks for this inaugural, sir. Sir, I welcome you and I request you to propose oath of thanks for this inaugural, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Sucharita. Om Namo Venkateshaya. Namaste, good morning to all, and welcome to two-day international workshop on recent advances and developments in transdisciplinary research, July 26th and 27th, 2023, jointly organized by Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati and Seven Hills College of Pharmacy, Tirupati. I myself, Dr. Niranjan Babu, Principal, Seven Hills College of Pharmacy Autonomous. Today, it is a great day for us because it is a wonderful opportunity to jointly organize this two-day session. First of all, I want to thank our chief patron, Honorable respected Professor K. Raja Reddy Garu, Vice Chancellor, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh, and his team for giving this beautiful opportunity to conduct such type of webinar in this platform. I think we can say a well dynamic academician is there for Venkateswara University. So thank our Lord Balaji to permit him to go ahead with the command conditions. Thank you, sir. I personally thank Professor Muhammad Hussain Garu, Registrar, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, and Professor Apparao Garu, Principal, Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati. I thank the patrons of this seminar, Professor K.T. Ramakrishna Reddy Garu, Principal, SVU CS, Tirupati. Special and heartfelt thanks to Professor S. Vijay Bhaskar Rao Garu, Dean R&D, SV University, Tirupati. And I also extend my special thanks to G. Narasimha Sir, Department of Virology, SV University, Tirupati. My entire organizing committee, Professor Sarvana Kumar and team, organizing secretaries, program coordinators of Seven Hills College of Pharmacy and Sri Venkateswara University. I would like to thank all our resource persons, Professor Apparao sir, Professor Suresh Babu sir, Professor Ronald Darwin sir, Dr. R. Nagaraju sir, Professor Narasimha sir, for coming up and giving their valuable suggestions to this entire session. I want to thank all registered delegates, faculty members of this program. I hope that you will find this webinar informative, helpful, and more useful. I thank everyone here, especially Sri Venkateswara University officials and Seven Hills College of Pharmacy team to arrange this useful two-day program. Webinars are a great way to share information and knowledge with the audience. Thank you one and all. Have a nice day. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Over
acknowledging.
to Dr. Sucharita madam for further proceeding.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for acknowledging each one of us. And let's we all have a happy learning, as you said, in this today's international workshop on recent advances and developments in transdisciplinary research. Thank you once again to you, sir. And I now request Professor Pushpakumari madam to read the citations of the principal of SVU Corp, Professor Apparao sir. Madam, I request you to kindly honor sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Sucharita. Good morning to all the dignitaries joined for the webinar. It's my honor to introduce an eminent resource person, Dr. C. Apparao sir, Professor and Principal, Sri Venkateswara University College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, SVU, Tirupati, India. Professor C. Apparao sir has been working as faculty in the Department of Biochemistry since 1989. Sir was awarded his PhD from University of Madras and awarded DBT PDF in IISc Bangalore and PDF in University of Pennsylvania. Sir has received UGC one-time grant in recognition of his research contribution, and he has been awarded Andhra Pradesh Academy of Science Fellowship. Under his guidance, 24 students were awarded PhDs in biochemistry, and to his credit, Sir has published more than 85 papers in most reputable international and national journals and also edited 3 textbooks. Sir has completed 10 research projects funded by UGC, ICMR, and DAE, etc. Sir has essayed different roles and responsibilities in the university in different administration positions such as head, chairman, BOS, director of DOA, dean university development, dean CDC, and principal SVU College of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Sir has vast experience in research in the areas of endocrinology, clinical biochemistry, diabetes mellitus, and worked on many natural products. Sir has completed many major funded projects funded by ICMR during the tenure of 2015 to 2018 worth rupees 35 lakhs, and UGC grant, one-time grant during the period of 2015 to 2017 worth 7 lakhs, and ICMR granted 2014 to 2017 13 lakhs 99,800 and so on. And sir has completed one minor project, lipids and lipoprotein profiles in microvascular complications of diabetes mellitus, and granted funded by UGC authority. And to keep up his credit, sir also has completed many book chapters and along with other authors. Sir, it is really our honor to have you on this session. We cordially welcome you, sir. Namaste, sir. Please, sir.
Thank you, madam, for your nice words. So I think I can go ahead with my presentation.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam. Share. Close this one.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Kindly share only PowerPoint, sir, not the full screen. మీరు full screen share చేస్తున్నారు, sir.
Yes.
Click on share screen, sir. After that, focus on PPT.
Share screen. Please bear with 2 minutes. Log out. స్టార్ట్ వీడియో చేయలేదు అది క్లోజ్ చేసి ఇప్పుడు ఇస్తుంది.
ఆడియో వినిపిస్తుందా? ఓకే సార్.
Okay, so am I audible? Okay, can I go ahead?
Yes, sir, you're audible. You can go ahead, sir.
So my slides are also visible now.
Yes, sir, visible, sir.
Okay, sorry for the delay. Anyway, so let us start the topic. Actually, the title of my talk is it's diabetes and herbal drugs in the management of diabetes mellitus. So as you know how prevalent the diabetes mellitus, one of the disorders, metabolic disorders, lifestyle disease, whatever name we say. So it is diabetes mellitus, which is simply called as diabetes and sugar compliant. Of course, it is it occurs due to the deficiency of insulin or complete lack of insulin, the hormone produced by the pancreas. So that results in hyperglycemia, which is nothing but the rise in the blood glucose. As we all know, the normal blood glucose is about say 80 to 120 milligrams per deciliter or so. So if it exceeds above that normal level, it is considered to be hyperglycemia, and it sustains for a long time. It is said to be the disorder, disease, diabetes mellitus. So the characteristic clinical symptoms which we come across in this particular diabetes mellitus, it is their polyuria, there is increased urination, and polydipsia, increased thirst, polyphagia, increased hunger, and disturbance in the vision, blurring vision, loss of body weight, and if it is very severe, especially if there is a complete absence of insulin, it sometimes leads to a condition what you call as ketoacidosis, which causes coma and leads to even death. So, and of course, if it is neglected, if the blood glucose is not controlled for a long time, it leads to several long-term complications, which affects the eyesight, like that is retinopathy, and it damages the kidneys, what is called as nephropathy, and also affects the nervous system and neuropathy, and it even leads to foot ulcers or amputation of the organs, and also some autonomic neuropathy causing gastrointestinal, genitourinary, cardiovascular symptoms, and all these things. So if you see, look at the prevalence of diabetes as per the statistics given by the International Diabetes Federation. I think in 2021, this is the 10th edition of Diabetes Atlas released by the International Diabetes Federation in 2021. So by 2021, it was estimated that about 537 million people are suffering from diabetes worldwide, and now it has reached an alarming situation. At present, globally, everyone in 10 adults are living with diabetes. So it's a major health issue, and more than 500 million people are living with diabetes worldwide. And in the when the diabetes IDF released the diabetes atlas in the first edition in 2000, the prevalence of diabetes worldwide was only just 4.6%, about 151 million people, whereas now it reached to 10.5% of the world population. That is 537 million people are suffering with diabetes and its complications. So that indicates that there is an enormous increase in the occurrence of diabetes. So if we don't address this particular lifestyle disorder or disease, it is predicted that it will still further increase. It will reach around 643 million people will be suffering from diabetes by 2030. So about 11.3% of the world population will suffer from this diabetes and its complications by 2030. So if it is not taken proper care, if it is not addressed properly, it even further increases, reaches 12.2% of the population of the world by 2045. So about 783 million people are estimated to suffer from diabetes by 2045. These are the projections given by the International Diabetes Federation with respect to the diabetes and its. So everyone has to be aware that there is an alarming increase in the diabetes occurrence worldwide, and in particular in India also. About recent estimates from recent report from ICMR, which has conducted a study throughout the country. It says that about 11.4% of the population in India are suffering from diabetes, and there are 15% of pre-diabetics. Pre-diabetics in the sense they don't take proper care. They will definitely develop the full-fledged diabetes, and especially in states like Goa, Kerala, and all. It is about Goa. It was estimated to be 26% of the population are suffering from diabetes, and Kerala, Pondicherry, 25% of the population of these states are suffering from diabetes. And if you come to the south, especially Andhra and Telangana, the two Telugu states, about 8.4% of the population of these two states are suffering from diabetes, and in Tamil Nadu, it is estimated that 10% or 10.4% of the population are suffering from diabetes. These are the figures given by the recent ICMR study in India. So, as per WHO classification, broadly there are two types of diabetes, though there are other classes of diabetes, but majorly two types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, which is also called as insulin dependent, because these people will not have insulin production at all, and it usually occurs through the immune mediated mechanism. There will be antibodies produced against the insulin producing cells, that is what's that, beta cells in the pancreas, which are the insulin producing cells. So these beta cells will be destructed by the antibodies produced within the body itself. So that's why it can be considered as an autoimmune disease. So there will be complete destruction of pancreatic beta cells. So that results in the complete deficiency of insulin, because there are no other cells which produce insulin in the body other than the beta cells. So it is an immune mediated diabetes, and it occurs very early in age. You can see the type 1 diabetes even in little infants, newborn babies, and even in children. So usually the age at onset of this type 1 diabetes is less than 21 years. So there is no endogenous production of insulin. So as insulin is an essential hormone for life, without insulin you cannot live. So every day you have to take exogenous insulin. Of course, now we have insulin, synthesized insulin, thanks to the recombinant DNA technology, the genetic engineering, by which you can produce the human insulin itself in the bacteria such as E. coli. So every day the diabetic person has to take exogenous insulin for survival. And the other type of diabetes, which is more prevalent in Asian countries and in particular in India, that is type 2 diabetes, what we generally call as a non-insulin dependent type 2, non-insulin dependent diabetes. This is somewhat better than type 1 diabetes in the sense that it occurs at a little later age compared to type 1 diabetes, because it occurs after the age of 40 years. 40 or more, after 40 at any age, it can occur at 60, or it can occur at 70, or it can occur at 50. So usually after 40 years. Usually there is some endogenous production of insulin, and this is actually this occurs due to mainly the lack of physical activity, or obesity, sedentary lifestyle, all these, and of course the pressures like physical stress or mental stress. These are also contributing nowadays for the occurrence of this type 2 diabetes. So this is characterized mostly by insufficient insulin production or insufficient insulin action, or sometimes both together. So there will be some insulin production in the body, but it is not sufficient either in terms of quantity or in terms of action. So that can also result in hyperglycemia. And so the people with obesity and lack of physical activity, sedentary lifestyle, these people are more prone to develop this type 2 diabetes. So it affects about 5 to 7% of the world's population. Uh, so the typical symptoms of type 1 diabetes, whether it is type 1 or type 2, almost the symptoms are same, like excessive thirst. All these are due to the hyperglycemia. So blurred vision, frequent urination, lack of energy, body weight loss, increased hunger, all these things. So these are the characteristics of type 1 and type 2 diabetes. You can see type 1 occurs below to 30 years of age, and the ketosis is more frequent in type 1 diabetics because these people will not have endogenous insulin at all. So if there is no insulin, then sometimes if a very high concentration of glucose leads to formation of ketone bodies like the acetone or beta hydroxy butyric acid. All these because of the increased lipolysis and fatty acid metabolism. So this sometimes leads to ketoacidosis and coma. And there is, this is mostly genetically inherited also. So it runs in the families. So if any one of the family members, either parents or grandparents, either maternal side or paternal side, they have this type 1 diabetes, at least 40 to 50% of the offspring, they are definitely are going to develop this type 1 diabetes, and it is more prevalent in European population rather than Asian population. And it runs in twins. 40% of the twins will have this type of diabetes, and it is also linked with the HLA, DR3/4 HLA type. And as I said earlier, it is an autoimmune disease because there will be production of antibodies to the insulin producing cells, the beta cells. So 90% of this, it is due to the auto antibodies, and it also causes long-term complications, microvascular, macrovascular, and all. It is mainly due to the absence of insulin secretion, and that's because of the damaged beta cells caused by the antibodies. And in addition to this, there are certain viruses like Coxsackie B virus or influenza virus. Coxsackie B virus, which is very specific, which will cause damage to the beta cells, and that is more prevalent in Western countries. But luckily, it is not there in the Asian countries, and in particular India. So the viral destruction of the beta cells also result in this type 1 diabetes. And type 2, as I told you already, it is a little bit better than type 1 because there is some production of insulin. So that insulin may not be sufficient to maintain the normal blood glucose levels. And these people need not take exogenous insulin. If they can improve the insulin secretion or insulin action by taking certain drugs, oral drugs like sulfonylureas or these what is that? The other type of drugs like bigonides. There are a lot of oral antidiabetic drugs now available, which can improve the insulin secretion as well as insulin action. So this is mainly due to the insulin resistance. It is mainly due to the decreased sensitivity of the tissues to the insulin. Sometimes these people will have hyper secretion of insulin also. But even then, it is not sufficient to maintain the normal blood glucose levels because of this insulin resistance. The tissues are less sensitive to insulin, so that's why the insulin is not able to bring down the normal blood glucose level, normal blood glucose. So yeah, the diagnostic criteria for the diabetes mellitus, this is slightly modified. So now the fasting blood glucose is, the fasting blood glucose, if it crosses 125, that is 126. If it is 126 or more than 126, it is an indication for the development of diabetes already. And 2-hour plasma glucose, that is after the intake of the glucose. Usually it is diagnosed by doing oral glucose tolerance test. So after 2 hours of the intake of 75 grams of glucose orally, if the blood glucose level is measured, that should be 200 or more than 200. If it is normal, it will be less than 140 or 140. But if it exceeds 200 or more than 200, it is an indicator of already the diabetes has set in. So the fasting plasma glucose is more than 125. 120, if it is 126, it's diabetes. If it is 125, it is not a diabetes. There is a condition what we call as impaired fasting glucose or impaired glucose tolerance, what we say IGT or IGF, impaired IFG, Indian impaired fasting glucose. But if the for 2 hours plasma glucose after the intake of the oral glucose load of 75 grams, if it is more than 140 and more than 140 and crosses 200, if it is 200 or even more than 200, it is 100% sure that the person has already the diabetes. And of course, it can be diagnosed with the measurement of glycosylated hemoglobin, because the hemoglobin gets glycosylated to a certain extent. If the glycosylated hemoglobin is 6.5% or more than 6.5% also, it is also considered to be a diabetic condition. And randomly, if you are not able to do oral glucose tolerance test, if you check the blood glucose of the person randomly, then at any time, if it shows 200 or more than 200 mg per deciliter, that is also an indication of the development of diabetes. So these are the, this slide shows the prevalence of diabetes according to the idea of diabetes atlas, 10th edition 2021. So in 21, you can see the total world population is 7.9 billion. That is the age between the age group of 20 to 79 years. So at that time the diabetes prevalence was 10.5%, about 536.6 million people. Whereas in 2030, the world population has raised to 8.6 million, and the prevalence of diabetes also has raised to 11.3%. So the people within the age group of 20 to 79 years, there are 642.7 million people with diabetes suffering by 2030, and it is projected that it will be increased by 2045. Another 20 or 20 years, it will be 12.2%. So 783.2 million people worldwide will suffer from diabetes and all. So these are the figures given by the IDF. So look at the figures of the statistics with regard to the prevalence of diabetes in various countries. So you can see in 2021, the China occupies the first position in the world with 140.9 people suffering from diabetes, whereas India is occupying in the second position with 74.2 million people with diabetes, then Pakistan, USA and all. And by 2045, it is projected that still China will be occupying the first position with 174.4 million people with diabetes, whereas India will be still in the second position, that is 124.9 124.9 million people of India will be suffering from diabetes by 2045. So it is going to be increased further. So it has to be addressed properly to decrease the onset of the diabetes and to prevent the occurrence of the diabetes. So if this diabetes is continued for a long time, it leads to various complications like acute complications like diabetic ketoacidosis or hyperglycemic hyperosmolar state, hypoglycemia, diabetic coma, respiratory infections, periodontal. These are the acute complications, and of course, chronic complications on long term. There will be damage to the blood vessels. Every tissue, every organ will be affected. Especially the eyesight will be affected, causing blindness. The diabetes is one of the major causes of the blindness. And also it damages the kidneys, so kidney failures will be there, what we call as nephropathy, and all the nervous system will be affected, diabetic neuropathy, and all. These are the long-term complications, and there will be also the other vascular, cardiovascular complications. People with diabetes are more prone to get atherosclerosis, and also the cardiac problems, heart attacks, and all, because of the impairments in the carbohydrate as well as lipid metabolisms, and even the peripheral vascular diseases also will be there. Due to that, there will be foot infections, and sometimes if the wounds won't get healed, then it leads to even amputation of the lower limbs and all. So earlier, the people used to, undergo amputation because of the uncontrolled diabetes, and the wound or infection goes out of hand. So if it is not, controlled, ultimately the organ, especially the foot or the lower limbs, have to be amputated. So these are all the complications associated with the diabetes, whether short term or long term. So if the blood glucose is not controlled, if the diabetes is not under good control, it causes life miserable, affecting all the organs, all the systems. So losing the eyesight, kidneys failing, and even the nervous system not functioning, genitourinary problems, gastrointestinal problems, cardiovascular problems. All these will, will be there. So there will be a miserable life if the diabetes is not under good control. So how to manage this diabetes? How to control the diabetes? So in the preliminary stage, people try to, even doctors advise to change the lifestyle, to change the diet, do physical activity, physical exercise, so that the blood glucose can be controlled with improvement of insulin secretion as well as insulin action. So diet, there should be change in the diet, ensuring weight control. So people who are obese, they should try to reduce the body weight by regulating their diet. And at the same time, proper nutritional requirements have to be met, which can keep the blood glucose under control, and also the lipids, especially the cholesterol, triglycerides. These have to be maintained within normal limits, especially the LDL cholesterol and HDL cholesterol. That's more important. And after that, the physical activity, exercise, walking, jogging, or play sports, games, etc. So that there will be some physical activity. Physical activity improves the insulin secretion as well as insulin action. So if it is not, if the diet as well as the physical activity or exercise are not able to bring down the glucose levels to normal, then you have to take the drugs. Then, so the first line of treatment for diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetic people, they don't have any other alternative because they will not have any insulin production in their body. So they have to take exogenous insulin every day. But type 2 diabetics, they have certain insulin production in their body. Endogenous insulin will be there. Only thing is it is not sufficient in terms of quantity or in terms of action. So that can be improved by taking certain oral hypoglycemic drugs. So these drugs can be classified into like insulin sensitizers or biguanides, which can improve insulin action. Insulin sensitizers are those which improve the sensitivity of insulin, sensitivity of the tissues to the insulin. and biguanides also improve the insulin action and all. Thiazolidinediones and insulin secretagogues, which can improve the insulin secretion from the beta cells, like sulfonylureas and all. And there are certain other drugs like alpha glucosidase inhibitors, which can delay the final digestion of the carbohydrates in the small intestine, so that there will not be more glucose absorption, there will not be a sudden rise in the blood glucose level. And there are other drugs like DPP, dipeptidyl peptidase 4 inhibitors, GLP-1 agonists and all. And if the oral hypoglycemic agents are not able to bring down the blood glucose, so then it can be tried with insulin as such, because there are insulins available. Human insulin itself is available, which can be synthesized in the bacteria E. coli by genetic engineering. Of course, all these drugs have certain, side effects. No drug is without any side effects, though they bring down the blood glucose, but on long-term use, they cause certain complications like sulfonylureas, which include the glimepiride, glipizide, glyburide, chloropropamide is the first generation of the sulfonylurea drugs. Now the second generation of sulfonylureas are glimepiride and glipizide and all. So basically, these act on the beta cells so that the insulin production or insulin secretion is increased. The sulfonylureas, so they mainly improve the insulin secretion. And so those diabetics, especially type 2 diabetics, in whom the insulin secretion is not sufficient, these drugs can be tried, like the sulfonylureas. And of course, the side effects associated with them are hypoglycemia. So if the blood glucose goes below, say 60 milligrams per deciliter, that is hypoglycemia, which is more dangerous than hypoglycemia. And so that is the main risk factor associated with the sulfonylureas, and also it causes gastrointestinal disturbances and all these things. And it can also cause increased body weight and all those things. And coming to the biguanides, like there are two biguanides like metformin and fenformin. Of course, fenformin is banned because of the lactic acidosis associated with the use of fenformin, but the metformin is widely used, and this is the first line of drug used for the treatment of the type 2 diabetes after it is diagnosed. So metformin, it doesn't increase insulin secretion, but it improves the insulin action, or improves the tissue sensitivity to insulin. It corrects the insulin resistance, and also it can decrease the glucose production by the liver, hepatic gluconeogenesis, especially in fasting condition, or in the during night time. The hepatic glucose production will be reduced by these biguanides, so that the blood glucose levels can be maintained normally. And also it improves the tissue sensitivity to insulin, it improves the insulin action. These drugs have no risk of hypoglycemia, but there are certain gastrointestinal side effects. It causes gastric irritation, and sometimes it affects the renal function also, and the creatinine levels may be increased to more than 1.5 milligrams per deciliter. And it also sometimes leads to congestive heart failure or liver failure, especially if there are any liver problems. These drugs cannot be used. And it also, of course, it has also some beneficial effects on the lipid metabolism, and it can also reduce the blood pressure. But the side effects are comparatively less than the sulfonylureas, because the only thing is the gastrointestinal disturbances will be there. And there are liver problems or kidney problems, then these drugs should not be taken. And of course, fenformin, if it is used, fenformin is of course not banned. Only metformin is used. And the third drugs are the thiazolidinediones, like rosiglitazone and pioglitazone. These also basically increase the sensitivity to insulin, improve the tissue sensitivity. They affect both glucose metabolism, especially lipid metabolism. They act through the PPA gamma receptors, so which regulate the gene expression of those enzymes like lipoprotein lipase and so especially involved in the lipid metabolism. They affect the lipid metabolism, thereby the blood, the carbohydrate metabolism is regulated. So this can be these drugs can be used along with the bicarbonate especially so that there will be increased insulin action, improvement in insulin action. But these also have side effects such as weight gain and edema, and they can also cause class 3 or class 4 heart failure. So that's the risk factor associated with these thiazolidinediones. And of course, the glucosidase inhibitors like acarbose and miglytol. So these will decrease the postprandial rise in the blood glucose because they delay the digestion, final digestion of the disaccharides that are formed during the digestion in the gastrointestinal system. So the intestinal disaccharides and all will be inhibited by these drugs, these glucosidase inhibitors, so that the digestion will be a little bit slowed down. So there will not be a sudden rise in the blood glucose, especially after the intake of the meal. So decrease the postprandial hyperglycemia by reducing the gastrointestinal carbohydrate digestion as well as absorption. Of course, these can also cause disturbances in the gastrointestinal system, and these drugs cannot be used in the liver diseases at all. And then other drugs like meglitinides, which increase the pancreatic secretion of insulin through the different glucose binding sites, and also dipeptidase inhibitors, which act like incretins and all, improving the insulin secretion and all. So these are all the different oral anti-diabetic drugs used for the treatment of type 2 diabetes. So in this picture, you can see the various drugs and their mechanisms of actions. So this slide shows the side effects of the OHA, and so all these sulfonylureas like glybutamide, glucoside, hypoglycemia, weight gain, meglitinides, bicarbonate, GLP-1 agonists, glucagon-like peptide-1 agonists, which can improve the insulin secretion. DPP-4 inhibitors like peptidase 4 inhibitors like saxagliptin, vitagliptin, and all, which can also contribute to insulin secretion. And of course, they have a risk for pancreatitis and all these things, thiazolidinediones, all these. Okay. And the last resort is insulin. Of course, insulin is the primary treatment for type 1 diabetes, but for type 2 diabetes, if the oral drugs fail, then you have to put on the patient on insulin for bringing down the blood glucose to normal. So there are certain side effects also associated with insulin, like weight gain. The biggest, problem with this insulin is because you cannot take orally, because it gets digested since it is a protein. So you have to take in the form of injection, either mostly subcutaneously it is taken or intramuscular. So every day you have to take the insulin injection, and at the site of insulin injection there will be some lipoatrophy or lipodystrophy, both will be there. And sometimes if you use impure insulins, there will be insulin allergy also. And the main problem or main risk factor associated with insulin is hypoglycemia. So if the food intake is not proper after taking insulin injection, if the food is not taken in time, then it leads to hypoglycemia. And as you know, hypoglycemia is more dangerous than hyperglycemia. So hypoglycemia causes immediate effect. If the blood glucose level goes below 60 milligrams per deciliter, there will be severe sweating, rapid heartbeat rate, there will be weakness, headache, all these symptoms will be there indicating hypoglycemia. Immediately you have to infuse glucose to subtract the condition. Otherwise it affects the brain and all. So these are the problems associated with the insulin treatment. And of course, now people are trying for islet transplantation and all. It is still in experimental stage. So patients have to take self-care. They have to be educated properly. Which foods have to be taken. How the physical activity will help to keep the glucose under control. They have to regularly monitor their blood glucose, body weight, and all these things. Hygiene has to be maintained. Especially foot care has to be taken. Foot care, that proper care has to be taken with regard to the foot. They should see that they don't get any foot infections or wounds and all, because the wounds go out of hand, the formation of collagen and all these things will be affected if the diabetes is not under control. So keeping all these side effects in view of side effects in view, so still there is no particular drug which can effectively treat diabetes without any side effects. So now there is, we know the herbal medicine has popularity, and it is used in traditional medicine like Ayurveda and all. So there is a lot of demand for the drugs originating from the plant resources and all. So there is an increasing demand for natural products with anti-diabetic activity, which with less side effects and all. So several compounds like alkaloids or glycosides, phenols, already certain compounds have been isolated. Phytocompounds have been isolated from the various medicinal plants, which can be used for treatment of diabetes. Several the most popular plant is Gymnema sylvestre, from which gymnemic acid was isolated and is used for the treatment of diabetes. Mammodica carentia, there is carenchin isolated from this Mammodica carentia, and other cinnamon, fenugreek seeds, garlic, several plants. They are being in use for the treatment of diabetes. So this is a list of plants on which a lot of work was done, and certain compounds have been isolated and they have been tested by various researchers like Allium cipa, Allium sativa, aloe vera, Gyricta indica, Gymnema sylvestre, Syzygium cumini, Tiracarpus, marsupium, and all. So there are 1123 plant species are being in use to treat diabetes, and more than 200 pure compounds have been isolated and have been proved to have the anti-hyperglycemic activity. And the folk medicine for diabetes from Rayalaseema, it reports about 120 medicinal plants with anti-diabetic activity. And this is the list of plants like and some of these plants I think we have tried in our laboratory. These are the plants, and you can see Mammodica cymbalarea, Terminalia pallida, Tiracarpus sandlinus, that is the sandalwood, Syzygium alternifolium, Citaria italica, Piper longum, Boswellia ovalifoliata, and Narangi renulata, Heliotropium indicum. So we have worked on some of these plants, and we have isolated certain compounds from some of these plants. So these are the people who worked with these plants, and they got PhDs on this work. So we have isolated a compound, and it is found to be a protein, and we named it as an MCY protein, and that we have isolated from the Mammodica cymbalarea, which is cultivated especially in the Rayalaseema region, Kadapa, Anantapur, and Kurnool districts. So we have taken those dry fruits this Mamadika symbol area. This is used also as a vegetable in those areas. And from this, we have isolated a protein by following this procedure. We have we have isolated the protein by this ammonium sulfate precipitation, gel filtration. And we named it as MCY protein, and it is 17 kD protein, and it was found to improve the insulin production, and it is able to bring down the blood glucose levels to normal. We have tried this MCY protein of course, all this work was done in animal models, the rat models. So it is a protein. Only thing is, since it is a protein, it could not be given orally, just like insulin. So it was we tried through injections only, subcutaneous injections. So it worked almost similar to any other anti-diabetic drug with no side effects. So we have published that in various journals. You can see this is the paper isolation characterization of a novel anti-hyperglycemic protein from the fruits of Mamadika symbol area. It was published in Journal of Pharmacology. After that, we have characterized that protein. It is a protein with 17 kD molecular weight and the internal amino acid sequence also we have done, and we have worked out the mechanism of action of this protein. So all this we have published. You can see it has effects on gene expression and also effects on insulin binding to the insulin receptors and all. And then we have also worked on another plant, Pterocarpus santlinus, the red sanders. Pterocarpus marsupium, the ICMR has carried out a multicentric study, and they have brought out a formula from this Pterocarpus marsupium, but we have selected this Pterocarpus santlinus bark, which is red sanders, which is available here in Tirumala, Tirupati, and all. So this also we have checked. It is found to have the bark has been found to have a lot of anti-diabetic activity, and we have isolated a compound also from this Pterocarpus santlinus, and that also we have published. And then we have selected another plant, Ternalia pallida, which is an endemic plant, especially available only in Tirumala forests. Most of the Ternalia species also have anti-diabetic activity, but this particular plant, Ternalia pallida, which is an endemic plant available only in Tirumala regions. So from this we have isolated a compound, the cinnamic acid. So this compound we have isolated and checked. So it has also got a lot of activity, and Setaria italica, that also we have studied, and then Vernonia helminthica. All these plants have been found, and Piper longum, and we have isolated certain compounds which were found to have anti-diabetic activity from a plant called Anisomylis malabarica, like the luteolin, camphorol, all these chlorogenic acid and all. So we have followed all the standard protocols. So first we prepare with the extract, and then we check the extract for activities, and then we subject it to bioassay guided fractionation, and we check the different fractions, and then we do the HPLC or the SCMS, and then identify the compounds, and those compounds again we isolate and characterize, and then check the activity. So that's how. And recently we have done an ICMR project on this Asparagus gonoclonus root tubers. So from this we have found these compounds like shatavirin, niacin, sarsaparagine, all these. So that also we have published. So like that we have done a lot of work on several plants, and most of these plants have they have been found to have a lot of anti-diabetic activity with no side effects. That is the advantage with these plant products. So unlike the allopathic drugs, unlike the drugs what we have discussed earlier, including insulin, these compounds do not have any hypoglycemic activity. That is the biggest advantage with these plant products, plant compounds, and even less side effects or no side effects, I can say. Of course, all these we have done only in animals, that is rat models. All these, so we conclude, we can conclude that these some of these medicinal plants are very promising to be considered for development of new anti-diabetic drugs with less or no side effects. So managing your diabetes is not a science, it's an art. And remember, take control of your life. Don't let diabetes to control you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful session. I am requesting any delegate, if you are any having question and answer sessions, please keep on chat box or you can unmute the mic and you can let us know. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. This is Dr. Neeraja Possibility from KVR Government College, Cluster University, Karnal. I have a small question, sir. Basically, my area of research is ethnobotany. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, please.
My area of research is ethnobotany, sir. And you're talking about the Momadica symbol area.
Yes.
And in that genus, there are many species are also there.
Yes.
So why may I know that why you have selected this one, this particular one for your research study, sir?
Yeah, because the Carentia, a lot of work has been done by so many groups of people, and people have isolated like P-insulin, Carencin, all these. So this Mamadika symbol area is available only in the Kurnool and Kadapa and Anandpur regions.
Only during the particular period only. It is not even that much familiar also.
And moreover, it is used as a vegetable also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They say
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Did you suggest any dosage? I mean, will you suggest it as a vegetable? For a diabetic patient?
Yeah, as vegetable you can take any quantity because there is no restriction about that. It's already being used as vegetable, but we have isolated the protein from that.
Okay,
so,
sir. Okay, sir.
Protein we have checked. So we
now
have that protein we have named as MCY protein, and with that protein we have checked the activity, and that because it's a protein, you cannot take it orally. It because it gets digested. So if it loses its structure, it will not have activity. So that's why it has to be taken in the form of injection, subcutaneous injection, just like insulin.
Okay, sir. You are talking about the gastrointestinal problems because of this diabetic condition. So that's why I'm asking you. That's why I'm asking you the dosage. If they take the vegetable, it irritates or not like that. But many of us, we have seen the vegetable. We have not cooked it so far.
You can take as much as you want. There is no problem because there will not be any gastrointestinal disturbances and all, because it is a protein. It doesn't cause any disturbance. And there may be other compounds also. We have focused on that.
Sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Wonderful presentation. It's very informative, thought-provoking also, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving your wonderful insights on diabetes and the medicinal herbs used in diabetes. Dear delegates, if you have any queries, you can unmute your mic. Delegates, if you have any queries, you can have a time to interact with sir, please. Thank you, sir. I couldn't find any questions in the chat box as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sir, can you please stop sharing the screen, sir?
Sure, sure.
Thank you. Sir, thank you so much once again for your wonderful session, sir. And it's so very informative. And on behalf of our principal, sir, the team of SHCP and the team of Sri Venkateshwara University, I take and I really feel it's an honor to have this. Kindly accept this token of appreciation from Seven Hills College of Pharmacy, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you once again to the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much for joining, sir. Namaste, sir. Thank you.
Sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dear delegates, we can have a 5 minutes of break and we'll forward for the next session, which is carried by Professor Suresh Babu Naidu Krishna, sir, a research fellow, Durban University of Technology, South Africa. And sir is going to have a talk on plant-based silver nanoparticles, recent advances and transdisciplinary research perspectives. Delegates, we can have a 5 more minutes break and kindly rejoin to the session. Thank you so much.